Good morning everybody and welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the week ending the 27th of January 2024. Another sortie to sort the Houthies, but it doesn't ease anxiety in the Red Sea. World War III's a possibility and we need to face reality, according to the head of the army. Unease in the Tory party, particularly with Rishi, as they wish he was less wishy washy. The agency that helps Palestinian refugees sacks employees after the Israelis' discovery that they helped in the October 7th tragedy. A murderer is freed of responsibility, leaving 3 unhappy families. Isha is a name that is gender neutral, but as the 9th named storm of this winter, it was brutal. Many people across Britain woke Monday morning wondering what kind of a week was dawning. The Met Office map of yellow and amber had foretold the aftermath of nature's anger. Then we heard some jostling in the storm queue, and on Tuesday night Jocelyn came storming through. She'd waited in the wings ready to blow, and she delivered Britain another heavy blow. On Monday, USA and Britain were back in Yemen to launch another attack. The last such sortie 11 days before succeeded only in raising the temperature more. It seems Houthies don't give 2 hoots in relation to the UK and US retaliation, and they increased the level of Western rancor, striking on Friday a British registered tanker. The Marlin Luanda found a safe harbour to anchor after a missile caused a fire that nearly sank her. On Wednesday, Sir Patrick Sanders made a speech relating to wars of which our forefathers preached. "We need a citizens' army," said the head of the army. Not a Corporal Jones type, that's just plain balmy, but a whole-of-nation undertaking where everyone is ready to fight for their nation. These may have seemed scary words to brandish, but it is not, in fact, quite so outlandish. With NATO's resolve seeming to falter, added to Putin's penchant for human slaughter, he may be tempted to bring his quarrel our way with limitless Russian meat to chuck into the fray. What Sanders said may be hard for us to hear. We thought those land battles were confined to yesteryear, and any world war we thought would be nuclear. Nukes still act as a deterrent, but now it seems clear. Sadists like Putin relish an old-style war, attritional in nature with much blood and gore. So much as we deny it and may find it so hard, war could conceivably soon be in our backyard. Ukraine, of course, met that hard truth 2 years ago when the tanks rolled in to sate a bully's ego. But much to Putin's chagrin, Ukraine put up a fight and there is still no sign of an end in sight. On Thursday, a plane was downed over Belgorod. Was it Russia, Ukraine, or an act of God? The plane contained 65 soldiers from Ukraine, POWs going home in a prisoner exchange. Now Zelensky, Putin and the world seek the truth. Russia has the black box and intends to be the sleuth. In Gaza there's been a new twist to the tale with some alarming stuff uncovered by Israel. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency that provides aid to Palestinian refugees had some of its employees terminated on Friday for helping in the 7th of October foray. A nice guy, but is he up to the task? That's what many Tories think and ask. MP Sir Simon Clarke on Tuesday let us all know the answer to the question is an emphatic no. It was just his opinion, but Sir Simon simply said, "I'm just warning my colleagues of an iceberg ahead." He reckons there's still time to make a decision to steer the ship clear from a fatal collision. Many agree with him that the Tories need a ship with a more dynamic style of leadership. They seem to think Sunak needs to grow a pair, else his premiership will take on the shape of a pair. However, changing this captain who seems to have failed is for most Tories a ship that long ago sailed. It's best now to hit the iceberg and let the hull rip and let Sunak go down honourably with his ship. The feelings of three families this week were made clear on the verdict of the deaths of their loved ones last year. Ian Coates, Barnaby Webber, Grace O'Malley Kumar are three names that last June left many people scarred. Valdo Calacane, a schizophrenic with a knife, ran amok in Nottingham and ended their lives. Got away with murder, guilty of manslaughter for savaging a loving father, son and daughter. Close family had kept their counsel throughout, but on Thursday they just had to let it all out. In court they'd heard Calacane had voices in his head telling him that these innocent people had to be dead. And because sickness in the head had caused him to be led, he should be given no punishment, just care instead. The judge judged that responsibility had been diminished, but for the families this case is not at all finished. They want Calacane to have a prison sentence, 'cause hospital ain't no place for the true repentance. A step backwards for humanity, he reportedly said, Kenneth Smith's last words from a death chamber bed. Put to death in Alabama late on Thursday, executed in a previously untested way. On the gurney for more than 10 minutes he writhed until nitrogen gas repaid him for taking a life. Since international distribution services bought it out, the Royal Mail's been struggling to sort it out. This week its future was under the microscope. In an online world, how can it still cope? It needs an overhaul, some surgical tweaks, innovation and cost-cutting Ofcom now seeks, like snail mail deliveries, just 3 days a week.